It's the ladies. I often, think about how unfortunate it is that we've never established a theme song, but it feels really weird to just go cold open on an awards episode. But
I gave you a freestyle that you refused to use.
That's true. And that's for everyone's benefit.
I downloaded an auto-tune app and just made some shit. I forgot what it was. It was like 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember this. It was pretty good if I remember right.
Yeah, if I can find it, I'll edit it in here, and that'll be the official start of the
A theme song would be good for this. This is a big night.
Laying into the movies. Hey girl, curl up on now with our smooth part. But you just wanna know what's on our mind, how do we think it goes? So plug in those headphones. It's late to the movies.
As you know, I don't know how to start the podcast, so it'll either be not even sure if anything we've said so far is keepable, or something along the lines of welcome related to the movies. This is a podcast where my friends and I get to fill in our movie blind spots. Each week we'll pick a film that either I or guests hadn't seen before and really should have by now. At least that's what I would say if it's a normal episode, but it's not a normal episode. It's the return at long last of the ladies, our third annual awards episode. This time after the Oscars, because they keep moving it to a different time. It would have been weird to do our own thing in the first week of the month. So whatever. That would have required more foresight than I am endowed with. So, we'll come out like the 20-somethingth, and that's fine. I don't know why I'm telling this to you, but you seem judgmental in this moment.
I'm interested.
Okay, good.
I want you to put in laugh tracks and applause for this particular show.
Okay, and Robbie's song will be anytime we have to play someone off when they're talking too long about what they've picked to win.
Oh, I want to get played off a bunch of times. Play me off with the weird drum, PIMP drum thing.
Jeez.
Yeah, I will put that in.
Yes.
It's the Third Annual Ladies Awards, and we're really excited to bring them to you tonight. We got a lot of cool awards. Some of them will be familiar from that other award show that happened a week and a half ago as this episode releases. Some of them will be our own twist on what the kind of things we like to see rewarded. But the rules are as follows. Anything that was nominated for any Oscar is eligible for any lady award. That applies to all of the awards. For the non-standard awards, that'll be awards that we've come up with that are not an Oscar category. Any movie that came out this year is eligible. For the major awards, the idea is just to keep it sort of, I don't know if fair is the right word, but within the bounds of things that people who might be listening to the show or be guesting on this episode, it's just a more interesting conversation if we've seen the stuff that we're talking about. So that's why the Oscars nomination rule is in effect for the major categories. And it'll be clear, when we start talking about our favorite animal performers, that that's not an Oscar category, and so we can pull from any category, or from any film released in 2023 for that.
We're going to get a best casting, but we can't have a best animal. See? This is what I'm saying.
It's messed up. All right. So left to right across your podcast dial, your guests for this, all previous ladies panelists, pundits, maybe is the word, award pickers. For once, since we've gone remote, I don't think this has ever happened. I get to say first, Ray's here.
Hey.
No Crick today. No one to overshadow you. Greg's here.
Hey.
Jordan's here.
Hello.
And Robbie's here.
Yo.
I almost said Grobby, and I don't know why. That's just a
Really?
thing.
I've been called Grobby before.
I really wanted you to go the opposite direction, and then after me, you could have went, Craig isn't here today.
Yeah.
Ray.
It's fine. He's a cool guy.
He's pretty good. Let's get right into it. We're going to start with Best Animated Feature. The way this will work, format-wise, is we'll go around, and it doesn't have to be the same order every time. If you feel like you've got something to say, you can jump in. We'll go around our circle here. And then I also have our results from the fan vote, and I'll tell you what came, first through fifth in those categories as well. And we'll use that as sort of a voting member of our body here to come up with our own winner for the lady in that category. Best animated feature is up first. We will give a top three, although the voters were able to pick from the 5 Oscar nominees in the Oscar categories. Anybody feel strongly about going first in Best Animated?
I'm going to strongly say Into the Spider-Verse because it's the only one I watched.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I didn't pick 3 for this because, as I mentioned before, most of the animated movies I watched don't even deserve a mention for any kind of award. But number 2, Into the Spider-Verse, and number 1 is The Boy and the Heron.
Oof, gross.
It was just so good. And I don't say that lightly because I loved Into the Spider-Verse. I thought that was like a crazy movie with crazy animation and stuff. But The Boy and the Heron was just, I don't know, it was wild.
Yeah. Just in before all the haters in the comments. This one was Across the Spider-Verse, but I know you know that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's fine. I also loved Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that as well.
I've actually never seen any of the Miyazaki movies. I figured I probably shouldn't start with Boy and the Heron, and I butchered that name, but
Miyazaki, but you
can
fine.
start with any of this.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're all. No, there's not like a perfect entry point. I
So
guess.
they're all a little weird, but not in like, more in like a kind of fantasy dream like kind of weird.
He has a lot. He works in a lot of surrealism.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only saw 2 animated movies this year, and I would rank them as Spider-Verse in second, which I loved, and Boy and the Heron, which I loved just a little bit more.
Yeah, I did Boy and the Heron first, Spider-Verse second, and Elementals third. I don't know if it really deserves it, but it's third.
Yeah, gun to your head, Greg. What would be third for you?
Gun to my head, what's third? So out of the other animated movies I've seen this year, it was the Paw Patrol movie that I think came out this year, Elementals, and Super Mario. And I'd put Super Mario probably. I think that was better than Elementals. I did not like Elementals at all.
Yeah, Elemental's the only one I saw, and I did not like it, so I'd like to not list it.
All right, you abstain. I guess.
Abstaining.
This is also the only category that we'll do that I saw less than the amount that we'll want to count down for all of them. So I figured let's do it first. Last year, I felt really strongly about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, but that is not who is bouncing out to present the award. Instead, it's a large red panda named Maylin. Yes. Who is also a human girl. She retains her panda powers at the end, though, right? Okay, good. So she's excited, so she comes out as the panda to announce the winner.
that wasn't this year, right?
No.
Okay.
That was last year. She's former winners are giving out the awards
Oh, did that win last year?
for us.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was fantastic. I love that movie.
Yeah. So Maylim's on
Ben
stage.
is very salty about that.
I was very salty.
He mentions this a lot.
It comes up often in our friend group. I should say, voters were split. This is the only category in which there was a tie for first place among the fan vote. Boy and the Heron and Spider-Verse tied for first. Boy and the Heron had more first place votes, so I'm giving the edge to that in the fan voting, but just generally speaking, pretty equal passion for both.
I think it's going to have to go to that, but I should have put it as my least favorite. I could have tanked the results.
You could have tanked the results. I mean, Across the Spider-Verse was wicked good.
It was. I haven't seen Boy and the Herring, so I don't feel strongly enough to be like, no, Spider-Verse deserves. So I'm definitely not going to fight you on the lady.
Jordan, did you see the first one?
I loved the first one.
You should see the second one. It's they go way crazier with the art style, and I don't know. I thought it was incredible. It was such a good follow up.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to say it was better, but they were definitely equal at the very least.
The one thing going into it, no, you got to know it ends abruptly on like a cliffhanger. Like it's very clearly like it's a missing piece because there is a third one.
I said they started the first 10 minutes of the next movie and then ended it. It is really what it feels like.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
There is like not a full narrative resolution, but definitely an emotional resolution. And then there's like another scene and then it ends.
Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah. You'll
which
see.
is a little awkward. In the room, and technically, on a technicality, I guess, more first place votes have gone to Boy and the Heron. Are we cool with that? Winning the lady?
Yeah.
Yes.
The only problem is Miyazaki doesn't go to award shows, so he can't come out next year to give out the award.
Yeah, that's the
We'll
only
have,
reason.
we'll have the Heron do it.
Yeah, that's the only reason he won't be here.
Maybe he doesn't like the mainstream awards. Maybe if he knows it's like a small indie award, he'll be like, that I'll show up for.
There you go.
Maybe we can have Robert Pattinson do it.
Yeah, I think, Robert Pattinson doing his Heron voice, which is just a Danny DeVito impression.
I can't believe Danny DeVito must have been so upset that he didn't get that role, right?
Yeah. The full voting, Elemental was in third, Nimona was in fourth, Robot Dreams, which I don't know anyone who has seen, was in fifth. So I'm going to pencil in Boy and the Heron for our best animated feature at the 2024 Ladies Awards. We go now to a non-standard category. I believe we're calling this Best Boy/Girl.
I don't love the
I
name.
just really don't like it.
It's more just so it pairs nicely with the Best Good Boy/Girl later when we do animal performers, but I don't love it either.
Yeah, I like that. Well, now it feels better to me because I like that we're comparing child actors to animals.
Yeah, me too.
Or young actors, rather.
Last year we called it the Young Performer Award, which we can keep that too, but that felt like oddly official sounding, so I wanted to make it shittier.
Best,
It's shittier.
best child actor.
I'm fine with that. I made a peace with it.
The Kids' Choice Award, but we're choosing the kid.
The Kid Choice Award.
The kid chose the award.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
The chosen kid.
Yeah.
I don't like that one.
The breakout performer
That's better.
that is a kid.
I think Kid Choice.
Ray says it's Kid Choice Award.
I think Kid Choice is funny. I like that.
Anyone have a good one to throw out? There's two big ones from Best Pictures this year.
I want to give it to the kid from the Fablemans again.
God, he was so good.
He's so good.
I asked you the directions specifically before we came into this, and I broke them by mistake. But I have three. Do you want to hear them?
We decided that there's no rules for these non-standard categories.
Oh, okay.
Just vibes.
So my third one is the kid from the Holdovers.
Yeah, Holdos. Dominic Sessa.
My second one is the brothel kids and Poor Things. And the number one is that little girl from the Last Repair Shop. She's not really an actor, but she was really cute at the Oscars.
She got to hold an Oscar on stage.
Yeah, and she was very excited.
Yeah, okay.
The only one I had written down was the kid from the Holdovers. What was his name? Dominic something?
Dominic Sessa.
Sessa. Yeah, I did like him. I thought he was actually really good.
So the other big one from a Best Picture contender is the kid from Anatomy of a Fall.
I didn't like him nearly as much.
Milo Machado Grainer.
I purposely left him out.
Yeah.
Same. I think because he poisoned the dog. Maybe that's not a fair reason, but I don't care.
The dog is a front runner in a different category, I think. But
And he tried to kill him because of that, I think. But yeah, I like Dominic a lot. I think he's overshadowed a little bit because Paul Giamatti was like really, really good.
yeah, but it's really those three characters are the core of the film.
Yeah, exactly.
Paul Giamatti and Dave Andre Randolph.
And then the only other kids that I liked a lot were the little girls in Asteroid City.
They're great.
They're great.
The witches.
The witches, yeah.
Oh, they're wonderful. Picking outside of the Oscar nominees, the girl that plays Megan in Megan. That's a 2023 movie. I think it was a January release, but still counts.
Is Megan's the robot?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a robot, but there's like an actual child actor who is doing like the motion.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emma Stone in the beginning of Poor Things.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
She was acting as a child.
Yes.
I really like the kid from Anatomy of a Fall. I think he did like
I
a
do
lot of
too.
his scenes really well.
We'll get into this maybe when we're talking about screenplay or something, but I think he's supposed to be very arch and kind of like I forget who mentioned it, but he's doing like a Shining thing. They're purposely making his hair and putting him in sweaters like Danny from The Shining,
And his name's Danny.
and his name's Danny.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that movie's more satirical than we all maybe are picking up on with like the language difference and everything. So I think it's supposed to be kind of over the top ridiculous.
And your natural instinct is not to hate kids. So like to be like, I did not like this kid as the actor. Like, I don't know. I think that's because he was doing a good job acting.
That's a good point, actually, because I really disliked him. And yeah, it's probably good. He's probably good at his acting job.
I only disliked him once he poisoned the dog. Before that, I was fine with him.
Yeah. And he's under a lot of stress. It's like, is he a sociopath or is he just a child who's in this terrible situation? And that's why he's reasons out the most logical thing I can do to decide whether or not to condemn my mom to like life in prison or whatever they do in France is to poison my dog for evidence. Yeah, no, how could I forget?
Yeah,
Guillotine.
I don't think it matters because either way, he's going to grow up to be one. Like after the details of the movie, like
guillotine?
Like if he was guillotine, for sure.
Sociopath.
So like even if he wasn't already a sociopath, like that's the perfect situation to build a sociopath.
Yeah,
and then he just has to live with his mom, who is not going to teach him emotional anything.
No, I'd probably vote for Dominic Sessa in The Holdovers. I thought he was really good. He has to do a lot of like emotions in it, but I think he's at his best when he's doing comedy stuff. The cut to them in the car driving to the hospital after he injures his arm.
I was thinking that when he just screams when he jumps on the thing in the gym.
It's good. It's good. That'd be my pick, but it's there's an open forum.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite like young actor is Dominic.
Yeah, I mean I'd go with him. I just felt like the kid from Anatomy wasn't getting a fair shake. So
yeah, I agree with that. I like him a lot, but I think Dominic Sessa takes this one.
Yeah, I'm just not as enthusiastic about it this year because they weren't as good as our young Steve.
Yeah, little Stevie.
Little Stevie, yeah.
Sammy Fableman.
Yes, Sammy. Sorry. Not Steve.
No, not even close.
All right. That gets us back to a more standard category where you've got next up. Ooh. Can anyone remember who won Best Supporting Actress last year?
That's easy. Last year, Sammy's mom, maybe.
I was going to say it might have been Michelle Williams, who we correctly put in supporting, even though she ran in Best Actress at the Oscars last year.
I think that's what happened.
I do think that's what happened. I think there's discussion around that, and I also still support that. So
yes.
So Michelle Williams in a giant hat
comes out with her husband Seth Rogen.
Yeah. Is walking like through trees, holding Seth Rogen's hand, notices that we see it, pushes Seth Rogen off stage, and then comes out to the microphone.
Oh, here she is.
This is back to a standard category, so you can count it down, and any Oscar nominee is eligible because I'm going outside of the five.
I can start. I got a little bit of a hot take. I'm thinking Margot Robbie and Barbie. I really feel like Ken was the lead in that movie. He's the main character. No. I only have one, I'm going to be honest.
That's fine.
I felt like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, and when you guys start saying stuff, I'll realize how dumb I am.
I was going to say, if it's helpful, I can say, like, here who was in the Oscars, or I can throw out other ideas.
I'll just put out what I got. I only thought of Divine Joy Randolph because she was amazing. She was so good. The scene where she breaks down and cries at the Christmas party.
Oh, okay.
And it's so good too because you're waiting for like the whole movie. You're like, this lady's gonna fall apart eventually. You know what I mean? She's gonna do it, and she just did it so good. Like she had like such a meltdown, and like, oh, I don't know that
These rich white kids are constantly being rude to her. Like she's gonna break at some point.
Yes, I don't know. And she just played it so perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's the only one I wrote down. I don't know what it was with, but like for the supporting actresses this year, there weren't that many that like really really impressed me, honestly.
Mm.
Oh, I got an oddball one. Definitely not number one, but the old lady from Poor Things that was on the.
I have written down Catherine Hunter from Poor Things.
She was fantastic. I didn't even think of that till just now when I was like, wait, who else? Yeah, she was.
Do you know what other movie I'm sure that at least most of you have seen her in? She's the neighbor that testifies at the Wizengamot in Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, is it Potts?
Or like Fig or
Mrs. Fig.
Yeah. That's my other pull for Catherine Hunter.
That's really funny.
Yes. She's the one who they ask her what the Dementors look like, and she says one was really thin and one was fat because she thinks that they're asking her about Harry and Dudley.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I have her written down for sure. Anyone have like a top 3 they want to count down? We don't have to really have a format. It's okay. You guys just kind of push it against it. We should have started with animated.
This is funny because Greg and I did not share our list at all, like purposefully. But I only have Divine Joy Randolph written down for Best Supporting Actress too.
Okay.
I also feel like she's the only one worth mentioning, but when you mentioned the old lady from Poor Things, or wait, you did? Whatever.
Robbie did, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But that was also a good one.
So if I'm gonna do like a count backwards, I would say the and I'm so bad with names. This is no
Yeah, that's
offense to
fine.
anyone, but the other woman in American Fiction, the love
sister?
interest,
Or the mom.
The girlfriend?
Oh, the girlfriend?
The girlfriend.
There's a lot of actually pretty good women like best supporting actress performances in that one.
So I would say her, and then I would say the old lady, and then I obviously the one that won because she was fantastic, Divine.
Yeah,
Joy.
Dave.
I actually I forgot. I really like the sister in American Fiction.
Tracy Ellis Ross. She's only in the first like 10 minutes though.
She
that's
was
the problem.
fantastic.
She was wicked good. I thought she was going to be a very important character.
She's second billed on the poster,
And then
so
she's just
I did
dead.
too.
I would have voted for her, but the 10 minutes, I feel like that's like best cameo.
Yes.
Yeah.
The old lady in
That's
Poor
coming up
Things is
later.
only in a very small part too.
In pivotal though.
Yeah. I mean,
Really good.
but supporting can be a small role. You don't need like
She's got so many tattoos though.
I feel like it's not unusual now that they'll give supporting to someone who is like basically a lead.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But you really don't need to do a lot to be like I feel like qualify for that.
I think what makes me feel like it was longer, and it probably wasn't time wise, but in Poor Things, I feel like there was like a 45-minute window where you got like 2 minutes here, 2 minutes here. So it was still probably only 10 minutes, but it was just spread out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Jordan? Or is it just Divine Joy Randolph?
Yeah, that's really
Okay.
the only one that I had,
Yeah.
yeah.
What
I
do
know
you
if you
got,
had a countdown. So I think for the length, Catherine Hunter just missed my supporting. My 3, 2, 1 would be Florence Pugh and Oppenheimer at 3. I think it's a better performance than Emily Blunt, who actually got nominated.
I'll agree with that.
Going off again, a different nominee, Sandra Hüller in Zone of Interest.
Okay.
And
She's horrible in that.
wasn't she the lead? Or
not
was
in
she-
Zone of Interest.
She's supporting in Zone of Interest.
She's the,
I'd
the
say
wife.
so, yeah.
Okay.
The husband was, I'd say, is main. I guess she has had a lot of screen time, but I'd say the husband is the main
Oh, yeah.
character.
Yeah, as much as anyone's a main character, it'd be him. Well, anyway,
The
Sandra
characters
Hüller-
are all kind of tertiary to what's happening around them.
Right, yeah.
the lead is the Holocaust.
I still think it's a great performance, but I wouldn't consider it like a lead performance.
I don't want to
you know?
give it an award.
Fair.
But yeah, I would also have Devon Joy Randolph in first. This is the only category in which everyone who voted put the same person in first. So I think the fans also agree. No one got shut out though. There was votes for everyone in this category. Just all the first place votes went to Devon Joy.
I think she was the only thing on the actual Oscar ballot where I was like, I am 100% confident she was going to win.
Yes.
She was so much stronger than like everybody else in the category. I felt like.
I don't even remember America Ferrera and Barbie. Like I couldn't even tell you what she did.
I remember her, but like I don't remember it being some incredible role.
She has a big monologue.
Yeah, she had that one scene with the monologue. But the thing is, it was like the writing, it wasn't the acting. You know?
I don't think Jodie Foster is bad in Naiad, though.
No, she got a lot of votes. In the fan vote, I should say, it went Devon Joy Randolph, and then it was really tight. Emily Blunt, a single vote in front of Jodie Foster. So there was seems like anyone who watched Naiad had Jodie Foster probably as their second place, just based on these results.
I didn't see Naiad.
I didn't either.
Yeah, and then America Ferrera, and then Danielle Brooks in Color Purple. So there's some love for everybody in there, but definitely it seems like Devon Joy Randolph has to come back next year to give out this award.
Mm-hmm.
Supporting actors up next, shuffling out to the podium. Does anyone remember who won supporting actor last year? I had this all in a document that I deleted to use the same formatting and then didn't leave.
Last year, the supporting actor was, I have no idea.
I don't remember any of the movies from last year.
It might have been Barry Keoghan because I remember we all loved him.
Oh,
think
I
it
did love
probably-
him.
More than Ke Huy Quan, though?
Yeah, the Banshees of Inisherin, the like village idiot guy.
There Goes That Dream.
Between him and Ki Hu Kwan, I think so.
They're going to both come out for this one, just to keep us covered in case someone listens back to last year and says like, "No, you're wrong."
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think it's fair too. So, anyway, he comes out and he's giving out Best Supporting Actor. Does anybody have anyone they want to talk about for Supporting Actor?
Yeah, I'll go my 3, 2, 1 and give you my opinions here. But my 3, 2, 1, I got number 3, Ryan Gosling, and I feel like the more I sit on that one, the more I like that one. Especially like the song and like
You were just bribed by I'm Just Ken at the Oscars.
I love the song. I feel like Ryan Gosling just plays it so well. Like you see it and you're just like, this is Ken. This isn't Ryan Gosling. This is Ken. Like this is how I picture him. You know what I mean? He does everything how I imagine.
He did a very good job too of being like weirdly down to earth. I don't know how he portrayed that. Like even in his performance at the Oscars, I was like, oh, he doesn't seem full of himself, and he's being a person that's supposed to be very full of themselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Number 2, I went with Mark Ruffalo, and I really wanted to put him number 1, but I couldn't. I absolutely loved it. Like his performance was so good. It was like so believable watching him go from this like, I don't know if macho is the right word, but like he's like kind of full of himself, and then he's like slowly declining to him yelling about how Bella's the devil and all this stuff. He's in like an insane asylum in the end, right? Like
not at the end. He's briefly in insane asylum when Rami Youssef's character goes to visit him to find out where Bella is.
Yes.
But then he's out after that.
You're right. Yep. Yeah. And then number 1, I had to go with Robert Downey Jr. I loved him, and I should have said it before even starting this, but was not a big Oppenheimer fan. I thought it was very middle of the road this year. But I absolutely loved Robert Downey Jr. in that movie. I thought he was like perfect. He was another performance where I felt like you could really see like the curtain lift on his character, because it starts with the audience not realizing how bad he is really. And it kind of is revealed as his story goes. And you can kind of like see it as the character changes. And I don't know, I loved him in that. So I'm all in on RDJ.
It's funny because I was going to say that was the only category that really upset me at the Oscars this year, because I felt strongly that Mark Ruffalo should have won it. I don't know. I just rewatched Oppenheimer recently, and I wasn't feeling as like, it's like he was good. I just he wasn't even in it that much, I think, too.
He supported the movie.
I know.
I honestly, I had said a couple times that I really wish Mark Ruffalo had just done this in a different year. Because I really wanted him to win, but I just couldn't do it.
On that tip, I didn't know this until literally earlier today. The next Yorgos Lanthimos movie starring Emma Stone, that Willem Dafoe's also in, is coming out in 3 months from now. It's out in June. So.
Is Mark Ruffalo? Don't tell me, actually.
He's not in it, sorry.
I'll wait and be surprised next Oscars when I know nothing about the movie.
Jesse Plemons is in it, though.
Yeah, he's second billed, and I love me some Plemons.
He's like what...
I love when life gives me Plemons.
Make lemonade.
Yeah.
If we were doing like breakout actor instead of like meaning for like younger person, he would have been my favorite from like, what did he come up in Power of the Dog? I don't know if he was famous before that, but that's the first time I saw him. And I was like, I love this guy. Like he's a fantastic actor.
He was a pretty prominent character in a little show called Breaking Bad. Ever heard of it?
Oh yeah.
And he was also a main character in a little show called Friday Night Lights. Ever heard of it?
No, I've never watched it.
He's the comic relief, and then in season 4, he murders someone.
Guys,
spoiler alert.
It's a real tonal shift for the character.
He's got range. And I didn't even think of that. I forgot I put number 3 Sterling K. Brown, but I would absolutely replace him with Jesse Plemons.
You didn't even have to tell us. You could have just lied.
My thing with him is he somehow manages to portray gentle and masculine at the same time, which is just a very rare quality. It's so like, I love it so much.
So he was great in Power of the Dog too, because that was exploring different versions of masculinity.
And he just like carried it through right through Killers, where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna hunt you down, but I don't have to be like this asshole cop about it. I can just be myself or whatever. I don't know. It was really cool. Jesse Plemons in Killers, and then Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, and Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things.
Yeah, and that was 3-2-1.
That's 3-2-1. Did you fuck the guy with the hook hand?
Okay, that's my favorite line, I think, in every movie this year. You did it, didn't you? You fucked the guy with the hook hand, didn't you?
Beat his face in.
I just like how he goes, ow. Yeah, anyone else have like a ranking to go through, or anyone that we want to talk about?
Yeah, I'll do it. So I had Robert De Niro in third, and then Ryan Gosling in second, and Mark Ruffalo was obviously in first because I just gave into that will. So,
Robert De Niro, this year I don't know what it was. I think it's 'cause I just don't like Robert De Niro. But I guess he was really good. I think I don't like him because he's always a bad guy.
This guy,
which I
he's
guess
evil.
is good. He does a good job.
Yeah. It feels like he's being underappreciated. I know he's still got a nomination, but I feel
He
like
was
he's
really good.
Zero buzz, and he's awesome in this.
I really do. I think I hate him.
He's a villain.
He's a villain. You know what I mean? Like I can't give this guy's bad. I can't give him an award.
So I have Ryan Gosling third, and I'm actually voting against how I voted for my ladies vote, but I'm gonna do Robert Downey Jr. second, and then Mark Ruffalo first.
Cool.
I think his little dance, I think, is what sold it for me. I don't know. I love it.
Yeah.
The dance gave me, like, from both of them, gave me Big Wednesday vibes.
Yeah, that's what I said too, and then I got booed.
Tim Burton wishes.
Everyone disliked that.
He hasn't done anything visually inventive in 30 years.
Oh, Johnny Depp.
But yeah, the way that his character just devolved, it was great. I loved watching it. I haven't seen Mark Ruffalo play something like that, and it was just very satisfying.
Yeah.
What do you got, Ben?
So I'll put this one to the group and abide by the decision.
Are you about to get booed?
Is John Magaro, who plays Arthur in Past Lives, is that too big of a role to be supporting?
I don't think so. I was considering him, actually.
Okay.
I think I didn't want to pick him because I felt bad because I didn't want to pick either of the lead people.
Yeah, he already got picked first in the movie. He can handle it.
So I'd have him in third, De Niro second, and then I am zigging, or maybe I'm zagging. I have Willem Dafoe as my number one for Poor Things.
Ooh.
wow.
He's awesome in that movie, and the Academy doesn't award the subtler, smaller performance, even though he is burping large bubbles.
Constantly.
It's still technically the smaller performance.
You know
than
that wasn't
Ruffalo.
real, right? That was
That he swallowed a
don't know
whole
that.
thing of bubble fluid.
And he's working on under like several hours worth of prosthetics.
He does that burp in the first like 5-10 minutes of the movie, and I was just like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
And it's not just the burp; it's the fact that there's a wind up of like 5 seconds of screaming before anything happens. The fan voting had Ruffalo in first, then Robert Downey Jr., then Gosling, then De Niro, then Sterling K. Brown.
I think I watched Killers like first, or right around there, and I forgot about De Niro's performance, but he was really good.
Yeah.
I'm happy letting Mark Ruffalo take the award home. Robert Downey Jr. already had one, and
Yeah, it
he's
seems
had
to be
an
a
easy
lot
life.
Of,
So I think it's time to give Mark Ruffalo some love.
There's a lot of Ruffalo love.
You know,
in
if he
there,
didn't want people to bring up his childhood, he'd stop being such a good actor. It's like every award show, somebody makes a shitty joke to him.
That brings us to our second non-standard category. This could be a movie from anything, not just an Oscar nominee. And we're going to do favorite scene or sequence. This can go either way. Are you going to pick something action-y, or are you going to pick something dramatic? I don't know.
Oh, you want me to tell you all six?
You're gonna
Kind of.
All right, yeah. So I have.
Then I guess say which one's your favorite, maybe. But
know,
you don't
it's-
have to rank them.
It's hard. I guess I didn't pick. Well, I'll just put them out there. Then it'll give something for people to think about, I guess. The ending of Past Lives or the bar scene. I'm Just Ken. The blueprint scene with the gas chambers where they were going over those in Zone of Interest. Thought that was really good.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie saying that she's not pretty anymore, and then the narrator coming in and saying they should have picked somebody other than Margot Robbie if they were going to make this point. America Ferrera's speech in Barbie, and then in the D&D movie, Chris Pine singing that song, and then his voice, his mouth just kind of like melting away.
That's a good bit.
That was a good one. Okay, I got two. I'll start with number 2 and go up. But my number 2 is when the alien arrives in Asteroid City. When he
So good.
so good.
Played by Jeff Goldblum, of course.
Of course, yep. And then them discussing the crematorium in Zone of Interest, I think is my favorite scene of the year.
Cool.
Because it is horrible. It was just the worst thing I've ever seen in a movie, maybe.
It's just so much more efficient. You can control the flow of air.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And like
So this one goes while the next one's cooling. Yeah, just a nonstop.
yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah.
They're just so like calm about it and like, oh yeah, and like
So mundane.
mundane. It's like it's just crazy to think about.
The board meeting too was kind of ridiculous where they're talking about like quotas in production, like any other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I cut you off, Jordan.
No, what are we? What
Favorite
am I-
scene?
Oh, sorry, favorite scene. Oh, I loved when Ryan Gosling went to the real world and discovered how much he loved the patriarchy. That was, I really, really enjoyed that.
The montage that they put together for that is so funny.
Yeah.
And I do love that. Like, I mean, you get based on that montage why he thought patriarchy was mostly about horses, but
It is a lot about horses. I think, to be fair.
yeah.
I was having a lot of trouble with this one, but I think I really liked the Oppenheimer speech where he told him he wasn't just self-important, he was important, like that whole like right there. What speech were you thinking of? You nodded your head.
When he's after the bombs are dropped in Japan, and then he's giving like the victory speech to the
That-
people at Los Alamos.
It
That
turns
was
into
also
a
really
horror
good.
movie for
Yes.
a second.
That was really cool. There was definitely something in American Fiction with Sterling K. Brown that I really liked, but I forgot what that scene was. Maybe when he was in the pool.
He's good.
I really liked that.
Yeah,
I thought that was really
scene's
funny.
good. That probably might pick from that movie too.
A couple other things I liked a lot actually from Oppenheimer. The end is really good when
Oh, the pew, pew, pew.
no when he gets the award.
Oh, yep.
And there's like I think there's like a voiceover of Einstein talking about how they'll give
It's
you
not
an
really for you.
It's for them.
It's for them. Yeah.
and then when his wife doesn't shake the guy's hand,
Yes.
and then similar to the Zone of Interest scene, I really liked the scene where they're talking about where they're gonna drop the bombs, and he's like, oh, not what is it, Kyoto?
Kyoto, yeah.
He's like, it's too spiritually important, and we honeymoon there. The wife really likes that.
Did you listen to the Oppenheimer episode?
No, I haven't yet.
Yeah, we mentioned.
We talked about that, and I was like, the reason they gave was that it was a World Heritage site, but hearing some white guy say he actually honeymooned there, and that's why we didn't bomb it, sounds a lot more accurate to history.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good dark joke that they throw in there. It's tough. I have a few. There's the Austerlitz battle from Napoleon, the whole Rome car chase from Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. I guess it's not really a reenactment. I get this is up to you whether it's actually what happened or what's happening in the mind's eye of the courtroom as they're playing the recording. But the fight scene that happens in Anatomy of a Fall, that sequence is ridiculously good. The dance sequence from Poor Things. Bradley Cooper conducting Mahler and Maestro in that cathedral. And then I was trying to keep myself to just one thing per movie. So I guess my one pick from John Wick for...
That was this year?
Yeah, would be the getting up the steps to Sacré-Cœur. That whole sequence on the steps.
I'm gonna throw out everything I said, and it's gonna be the club fight scene from John
It's
Wick
really
4.
good too.
Yep, that was my favorite scene of the year, hands down.
I also liked the top down fire gun sequence where the camera goes like over him and he's got that gun that's exploding.
That's when he was like in the club, right?
That was in Paris. The club was Berlin.
okay. Yeah.
He fights that actual UFC fighter that's in a fat suit in the movie.
Oh, I might have mixed them up. Is that when they were playing the Painted Black cover? Was that Paris? That was Paris because it was in French. Okay. Sorry.
There you go.
it's the Paris.
Okay, this is too much John Wick 4. The Nazis are coming out with their blueprints to get their award.
Anyway, I mean that was mentioned twice. I don't even remember if this was like a given award in the past when we did this, but it can be. We can give it to them if you'd like.
This feels wrong.
I don't want to.
Oh, he's shaking their hands.
I don't know.
Not a lot of love for the dance sequence in Poor Things. No.
I love that one.
I really liked it.
Okay.
Honestly, Poor Things was one that, like, the further away from that movie I get, the more I'm like, I really like this movie. This was that movie was one that it really took time to appreciate because it was just so weird. It was like a shock seeing that thing.
I'm
You
gonna
really had to sit on it.
I'm gonna watch it again. It's on Hulu, so it'll be nice to just like watch it with good subtitles.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm cool with whatever here. If it is that is the only thing that came up twice as someone's favorite scene. So kind of makes sense. If we're looking at it as like what's stuck with you the most, that feels like a pretty good, contender and statement.
That's fair.
Wait, so who are you giving it to? The Nazis?
Ben is giving an award to the Nazis.
Wow, they're gonna come back.
Giving it to to the filmmaker. This one goes to Jonathan Glazer.
Jonathan Glazer for what?
It's good for good filmmaking.
Did not see that coming.
Get out of here.
Boo.
So that's the first award, but maybe not the last of the night that Jonathan Glazer is going to win. Did you guys know he directed the Virtual Insanity video by Jamiroquai?
I don't know what that is.
No.
It's real good. There's that guy. He's got a big hat, and then the room's moving around, and the furniture's moving around. And it's just like a lockdown camera, and he's got a big hat.
Is his hat bigger than Michelle Williams' hat?
Taller, not wider.
Doug Dimmadome?
Yeah, kind of. Except it's like black and furry and like kind of from the 90s.
Oh, jeez.
One of those Jamiroquai hats. Anyway. Best original screenplay. Just to set the table, I feel like I can say Oscar nominees included Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. I think that was alphabetical. Since this is a standard category, you can take it from any Oscar-nominated film, but those are those.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. And this is original.
Original. 3, I went with Anatomy of a Fall. 2, Holdovers. And 1, Past Lives. And I don't think I've said much about Past Lives yet, but I love that movie. It was so good. And I feel like the whole thing is just writing.
Yeah.
It's all of the dialogue. That's all the whole movie is. And I don't know. I thought that was great. So that's my number 1.
Yeah, how did Past Lives not win for this? What won?
Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh,
They just fell in love with it.
okay.
I liked Anatomy of a Fall, but
And Past Lives was all screenplay. Anyway.
that's how I felt. I felt like the whole thing was the screenplay is what made it so great.
Yeah. Celine Song's a playwright by trade up until now, and you can tell it's very precise, that script. I think it's excellent too.
Yeah, so I did Anatomy of a Fall, Past Lives, and then the Holdovers, but I would have much I don't know. I'm kind of upset Anatomy of a Fall won over those two. I would have accepted Past Lives or Holdovers,
Mm-hmm.
But.
I'll throw in, for me, I'd probably have Anatomy of a Fall third, Perfect Days, the Wim Wenders movie from Japan, second, and I'll throw Past Lives in first as well.
Oh, Holdovers didn't make the cut, huh?
Just on the outside looking in. Just not with a lazy eye.
I have Holdovers third, Anatomy of a Fall, and then Past Lives.
Mine's the same as Ray, so I'll just
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Past Lives is just sweeping.
Yeah.
What did the people say?
They had Past Lives first, then Anatomy of a Fall, and then Holdovers, then May December, and then Maestro.
Poor Maestro.
Maestro with what score?
Which did not receive any votes.
Ooh.
It just received the worsts.
That's, again, only in the one category.
Oh.
But theoretically, since no one voted for it, and it was the only one that got 0 votes, kind of there. Yeah, this one's Past Lives in a Walk.
They couldn't be here today. They're going to Skype in. No, I mean, what are they on?
Skype.
Yeah, they're gonna Skype in, and we'll give it to them through Skype. Yeah.
Doom, doom. Yeah, that was. I'm sure we gave that to Daniels last year for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I have to imagine.
Oh yeah.
I just have to imagine. Then moving over to adapted screenplay, Celine Song and Daniels leave the stage arm in arm, and I wonder. Last year, did we do Glass Onion?
I think so.
Oh, no, of course I remember what one. Guillermo del Toro takes the stage as last year's winner of Best Adapted Screenplay for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Why is Greg dying?
Because they wouldn't let me have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio and it animated, but then later on, for some reason, everyone was cool with giving it adapted screenplay.
It didn't get that. Like, it wasn't a nominee for that.
But because it was an Oscar nominee in a different category, it qualified.
You should be happy that it got that.
I'm not unhappy. I think it's very funny. I'm extra happy.
It must have been late in the night.
I still haven't seen it.
It won for Best Adapted Screenplay, Robbie. You gotta
It's a
watch
good
it.
adaptation.
It was an excellent adaptation.
Pinocchio dies and goes to hell.
Over and over again.
Just whenever you say Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, I just picture a standard Pinocchio, but now he has eyeballs in his hands.
I mean, it's not far off, I guess.
So yeah, Guillermo del Toro's out on the stage. The adapted screenplay nominees for the actual Oscars were American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
Okay.
This was pretty close in the fan voting.
I had a really tough time with this one, and I've changed it a million times. But what I'm going to go with, and I'm not sure if I'm the happiest with it, is I'm going to go 3, American Fiction, 2, Poor Things, and number 1, I'm going to go Zone of Interest.
We just can't agree on 1 and 2. I have
No.
3 American Fiction, 2 Zone of Interest, 1 Poor Things.
I have 3 Poor Things, 2 Barbie, and 1 Zone of Interest.
I have 3 Barbie, 2 American Fiction, and 1 Poor Things.
I'd probably go 3 Barbie, 2 Zone of Interest, 1 Oppenheimer.
Boo.
Boo! Boo! You're off.
Or actually, never mind. Move everything
Yeah,
down
that's better.
1.
That's better.
Move everything down 1.
Glad we bullied you out of that.
3 Zone of Interest, 2 Oppenheimer, 1 Killers of the Flower Moon.
Is it rude that we say Zone of Interest and not the Zone of Interest? Is it like dropping someone's title?
No, it's cleaner.
It's cleaner, right?
They shouldn't
Yeah,
have
Justin
put the
Timberlake
the
said
in
it's
there.
clear.
That was their fault. It doesn't work as well.
There's a little tip. Drop the.
Yeah, it's cleaner.
Next
clean.
time you make a movie, kid.
Yeah, he's got time. Glazer makes 1 movie every like 10 years. So he's got time to think about it.
I feel like there was a lot of good adapted ones this year. Last year, I feel like all the adapted ones were not good.
Yeah, the winner was American Fiction at the Oscars. I don't know if that'll carry the day here. Feels like Zone of Interest had a lot of support in the room.
It's a mix. I feel like
Things.
Poor Things, Zone of Interest.
That's how the fan voting went. Zone of Interest was in first. Right behind it, though, was Poor Things. Then very tied. Oh, not very tied. Very close. 1 point apart at 3 and 4. Barbie, then Oppenheimer, then American Fiction.
Was I the only one hoping at the Oscars when they gave it to American Fiction that they were going to do like a get 'em spit, like pretend to shoot a bunch of guns on the award guys? But like, I just feel like it would have been funny to like bring that back in there.
It would have been, but they never do those things.
They didn't even watch the movie.
They never surprise people with an active shooter bit at these large televised events.
Oh, right, because the winner can't know ahead of time, so there'd be no way to.
Well, I think it'd be hard for the home audience and for everyone in the crowd to not feel a little bit perturbed.
Yeah, especially like there's probably people who watch the Oscars that didn't watch American Fiction and know it.
Most of them.
Yeah, right. But yeah, this was I feel like a tough one.
Just to say a word for Oppenheimer, I mean, that's really hard to turn that into a movie, I think. And then step further, the amount of adaptation with Killers of the Flower Moon is pretty astronomical. It changes the whole focus of what the book is.
So one thing, whenever I do my best adapted picks, I don't consider how it was adapted from the source material. I just consider like out of these, which one is like the best movie because I don't know the source material for basically any of them ever.
Except for Barbie.
Except for Barbie. I read a little bit about this, but that's reading a little Wikipedia article about the source material is not the same as reading the source material.
So Zone of Interest was a book.
Yep.
It was a book, yeah.
Yep.
But I think it was this. They took a lot of liberties with this. I think the book
It's
was more fictional
Yeah, it's
and not
stand-ins for the people that are in the movie, who are just the real people's names.
So they basically just used the references for the book and made the movie.
Yeah, which that I think is like a crazy adaptation. You take something that's fiction and you're like, you know what, we're gonna make this more real. You know, and now you go and do a bunch of research and you know, I feel like it's a lot more work to do something like that. I'm the opposite of Greg. I feel like I focus like solely on the adaptation when looking at the best adapted.
I didn't even consider it.
I know the people of Scotland are upset at how much Poor Things was changed from the source material.
I don't really know the source material of Poor Things. That's
Apparently
why
it's
not
more
higher for me.
Scottish as opposed to 0% Scottish like it is in the movie.
Yeah, I would have
Okay.
guessed Portuguese.
I guess that's fair. I think that Barbie did a phenomenal adaptation because like
Yeah,
what did they have
considering-
to work with, you know?
That's why it was on my short list.
Yeah, and I think they kind of touched on it in the ceremony, but they said that, you know, they took this doll that's been super controversial and nobody wants to buy it for their daughters anymore because they say it's a bad influence. And now, like, she's turned it into this, like, feminist statement. Like, it's a cultural phenomenon now that, like, Barbie is, like, girl power,
Yeah.
you know? So I think that that's kind of crazy that happened.
Also, the categories are funny because that counts as adapted because it's an IP thing. It's an
That seems
existing
wild to me. Like,
characters.
they had nothing to work with except names of characters
Whereas
and like an image.
Whereas Maestro is considered original because Leonard Bernstein isn't a toy.
He's a real boy.
Yeah, but like obviously there's like
Pinocchio would say.
there's already biographies written about that guy, but just since it's not an adaptation of a biography,
It's not an adaptation of biography. It's an adaptation of his life, which is very different than a biography.
Like, I
Right.
don't care if you didn't look at the specific book. It's still like
I'm just saying it's funny that Barbie's considered an adaptation, but that's not. But anyway, so yeah, slightly more support for Zone of Interest than Poor Things and Adapted. I think Zone of Interest just overall structurally is pretty experimental, audacious. I don't know what the right word would be, but I just like the whole way that thing came together, and maybe the screenplay has something to do with that. I put that more maybe on directing, but I guess also screenplay. I don't know how you write, like, these people are just going to kind of walk from room to room for a while, but you'll get it.
They're just standing around. Everything will happen in the background. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but you'll get it.
that was good.
So, are we feeling Zone of Interest again?
I'm
Is
happy
it
with
come
it. Or
first week?
Poor Things. Was Zone of Interest? What did the people pick?
Zone of Interest by a little bit over Poor Things.
I think
That
the
never
room
bothers
picked
us,
Zone of
though.
Interest a little bit over Poor Things too.
I think I was the only one who put Zone of Interest as number one. Didn't all you guys put Poor Things?
I put Poor Things. I didn't have Zone of Interest on my list.
Oh, you did Zone of Interest.
And I think did you?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh. So I think it's tied. And then if the viewers said Zone of Interest,
Bring out the Nazis.
we just love
Yes,
giving
Jonathan
Nazis
Glazer is coming to the stage.
How come it's characters for all the other movies, but for him it's
You know why.
I want Harrison Ford now to come and punch one of them. He was nominated. He can do that, right? Well, Indiana Jones had a
Indiana
nomination.
Jones is nominated.
Oh
Yeah.
God, Harrison Ford's coming up to the stage. Oh, he's slapping.
You know what? Based on IP, I'm changing my answer to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. As a sequel, it's an adapted screenplay.
Oh man, was the dial like his respirator he has to carry around with him?
His destiny is death.
So they're on a plane because they need a plane to fly into this time hole to go back in time. But right before they do it, Indiana Jones is like, you did the calculations wrong. You're going way in the wrong direction. And so I think they go to like 1940 BC or something.
Oh, I was gonna say he's got to punch the Nazis again.
Anyway, that movie sucked. Animals are one of our favorite things on the planet.
Speaking of Nazis,
It's time for the best good boy or girl.
bad boy. Sorry.
That comes later. In which we'll award our favorite animal performer. Anyone besides Messi, who plays Snoop in Anatomy of a Fall, that we want to throw out? There's some other ones that'd be fun to talk about, but just saying, like, we know what's happening.
Okay, I think I was confused. Favorite animal performer?
Yeah, so call them by their real
I thought it
name.
was animal performance. I was thinking Christopher. I think it's Christopher Abbott in the end of Poor Things when he's being a goat.
That's pretty good.
That's a good.
See, he does a good goat.
Let's do a good goat.
Maybe Godzilla? Are we able to throw Godzilla out there?
I don't know. Godzilla might be too sentient to count, but maybe not. I don't know. Godzilla is making decisions.
Lots of animals make decisions all the time.
Also, because somebody couldn't illegally procure it for me, I haven't seen that movie. So I don't know how good Godzilla is in it.
I'm sure he's a good boy.
There's a pigeon in War is Over that is a very good boy, but he is animated, so
Yeah,
I
the
don't know if
animated-
he counts.
The animated count? Can you count
Yeah.
animated? Okay, I support the pigeon then. I support the pigeon. I also support the pig from Letter to a Pig.
There is a letter in Letter to... Sorry, there is a pig in Letter to a Pig.
There's both a letter and a pig.
I was going to say, is there a letter? I'm curious. There is?
There is.
Okay, yeah, good.
I already told you the joke that I wanted to do because I was too happy about it. But after nobody mentioned this one, I was going to say, who abandoned Snoopy in the vestibule? Sounds like you all did. Snoopy from Maestro. That's my pick.
There's a scene where they're just like having an argument, and in the background there's like, is it like the Macy's Day Parade or something? And the big Snoopy float just floats by the window. No one says anything about it.
It's Thanksgiving, and Bradley Cooper shows up all fucked up to his family Thanksgiving with a stuffed Snoopy. And he goes, who abandoned Snoopy in the vestibule?
It's his day.
It's his day.
Oh my god.
But then, yeah, Snoopy floats on in the background while they're fighting about him being too gay to function. To paraphrase Mean Girls, but she means it in a different way in this movie.
It's not okay when she says it.
No. She says
That was a
you're
good
being
scene.
messy.
That was a good scene. I laughed a lot.
Yeah. It's good. He's a good filmmaker. I know you guys hated Maestro,
Yeah,
but I liked it.
If I don't know, I just couldn't get into that one.
Yeah, I know.
What did you like about it?
I like the filmmaking. I like Bradley Cooper as a performer.
Well, we all like Bradley Cooper. Always.
Just not.
Anyway,
Messi gets the award.
Messi.
for sure.
Anatomy of a
It
Fall.
wasn't even a question.
His acting was so good.
It's tough because anytime there's an animal in a thing, you could think animals can't act. They don't pretend. So I don't know what they had him do. I hope it was all good stuff and there was animal safety people on set.
I was a little concerned because I don't know if France has different laws with like animal actors. You know what I mean? They're like, well, there's two Messis. There's the one we killed in the middle of the film.
They're working on prestige rules.
I thought for sure that was what was going on, especially with all the like other legal crap that was going on. I was like, what are they doing to that dog?
I'm already like anti the French court system. Now there's just boys killing dogs for research. Yeah, we're pro Messi on this podcast, so it has to be that way. I'm not so fond of the soccer player, but the dog. What a cute dog. I'm glad he got to go to the Oscars after all those mean film companies wanted him to stay home.
I heard he didn't get to go. I heard he was, well, Jimmy Kimmel said that he was barking during the rehearsals, and then they had to just shoot scenes with him clapping,
Oh.
unfortunately.
Did they trick us? Because I thought they showed him like in a seat.
They did,
But
but they had
those
to
were
film it
pre-filmed?
beforehand. Yeah, because he kept barking through the entire like monologue.
I
And
mean,
so,
it makes sense.
yeah,
Well, it's Jimmy Kimmel.
that's what they said.
I was doing the same thing
That
at
makes
home.
more sense. I mean, it's also a really long show to have a dog sit in a chair.
Oh, but didn't we see him backstage for a minute though?
He might have been around.
Oh yeah, maybe. Well, he was. That means he had to come in to film the.
Oh, because the backstage scenes are also they could be done before that.
Yeah, so maybe.
lied to by movie magic. Yeah, at least he gets a lady that we can send in the mail, and maybe
Yeah, he'll be happy with that.
We didn't have this category last year. If we had to pick an animal, I guess
Spider Pig.
Last year?
from last
It would have
year.
been Jenny the donkey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop killing the animals.
And here comes Jenny the donkey's corpse still. Accept an award.
Weren't there multiple donkey movies last year?
Well, EO.
In Triangle of Sadness, they murder a donkey in the woods to eat it.
Yes.
And I think in EO there's like a fleet of donkeys that played EO. Not because they kept dying, but because you don't want to like the movie's just about this one donkey and that has to be on set every day.
Mm.
And there's donkey labor laws. So it's just easier to have like 11 donkeys.
Not child labor laws, though.
No, that was filmed in Poland, so no. Congrats to Messi. He's the best boy this year. He's the best good boy this year. Coming out to the stage now, who knows? Who fucking knows? For best actor to produce fucking whatever. present best actor. I think I probably pushed really hard for Colin Farrell. I don't know if it was Brendan Fraser carried the day in The Room.
I think so. Right?
Might have been.
Did he? Oh, I pushed hard for Colin Farrell for sure.
I don't think, because he was the whale, right?
Yeah, he was the whale from The Whale. Not to be confused with Payakan from Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh, because I didn't watch it, so I don't know if I could have voted for him.
I think I would have voted for him.
Yeah, I think Jordan and I voted for him. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did, and I think he did win.
I think Robbie was on this episode last
Was I
year.
not on this? Was I on the one before it?
You were on the
Yeah,
one
you were on the
before.
one before.
Oh
it.
my god, I'm so confused.
That's why you're like, I don't remember what we did.
I don't remember
But it
voting
was
for any
like-
of these people.
I don't know why I hadn't mentioned it before, but I just kind of was like, he'll figure it out.
I was just like, wait a second.
It's like, it was just us last year, but there was you a year before.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it was 2v2 in The Room. And I feel like you maybe felt really strongly about Brendan Fraser.
I think that we gave it to Brendan Fraser. I think we just deferred to them.
Because I have the fan vote, and Colin Farrell was way ahead. So I don't
can't remember.
But I think we just didn't care about the fan vote
we
at
said
all
fuck
last
the
year.
fans.
Sounds like us.
We went out of our way to say fuck the fans. Anyway, yeah, I think it's Brendan Fraser that won this last year. The Oscar nominees were Bradley Cooper, Coleman Domingo, Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, and Jeffrey Wright. I will say, of these five, only one is in my top three.
Really?
Yeah.
So I had Jeffrey Wright from American Fiction, then Paul Giamatti from The Holdovers, and then Cillian Murphy because I really loved his performance.
I was pretty close to that. I went with Jeffrey Wright, then Cillian Murphy, and Paul Giamatti is number one. But honorable mention to Leo because I love Leo, and he was really good this year, actually.
Oh, they already gave him his thing, so
Yeah,
never
he's
again.
done.
I only have Paul Giamatti written down. Sorry, everybody
I
else.
just wrote it 3 times. And then a fourth for his eye.
Giamatti.
I wasn't too impressed with all the other choices, to be honest with you.
She's giving it to Paul Giamatti's lazy eye before she gives it to Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, not a big Oppenheimer fan. I thought it was just meh.
Well, we're talking about Cillian Murphy.
He's a weird dude.
Mine's very similar to what Greg and Robbie did. It's Jeffrey Wright, then Paul Giamatti, then Cillian Murphy.
Cool. At 3, I have Cillian Murphy. At 2, I have Koji Yakusho from Perfect Days. Watch that fucking movie. It's really good. And then number 1, I have Leo. We don't appreciate Leo enough as a culture. He's super underrated now for some reason.
I thought he was wicked good in this, honestly.
He's so good. I know that the last, I don't know, almost 30 years since Titanic came out has been him just purposely going in the other direction and trying to make sure Titanic isn't in the first line of his obituary by playing like shitty dudes and evil dudes and dumb dudes. And he did all 3 in this one. And it's so good.
I love Leo.
Yeah.
I'll always love Leo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's phenomenal in this movie. It's crazy that he wasn't nominated.
Yeah, he was my favorite part of Kill as a Flower Moon, I think, as like a movie, was just his performance in it.
Yeah. And again, Perfect Days is a Wim Wenders movie from Japan. That was the Japanese entry in Best International. Koji Yakusho is the main character. The movie's really just on him pretty much the whole time. There's not a ton of dialogue, and it's about a guy who cleans toilets in Tokyo as part of the Tokyo Toilet Project, which was this initiative where they had like 17 installations built from designs by 16 different artists from around the world to revamp and make really cool looking public toilets. And he cleans them as his job, and it just follows him around for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And then stuff happens, and it's really weirdly emotional and really cool movie.
You're not gonna say shit happens when talking about a toilet cleaning movie.
No, I respect the film too much.
You know, I didn't see the movie, obviously, but I was like, before I helped you get it, I was like, this is a movie about a guy just being a janitor?
Yes.
And I like knew enough where I was like, I'm pretty sure this is just a movie about this one dude being a janitor. But I oddly was like, bet you this movie's going to be really good.
It's really good.
You can't have a movie that's just a dude being a janitor get nominated for something unless it's like really fire.
That's
And
fair.
it really is like it's all on this guy's shoulders and his like emotionality and like him communicating without saying really much at all. It's a really cool performance. So I just wanted to shout that out. But it seems like decent amount of love for Paul Giamatti in the room. Was that the takeaway?
What did the fans say?
They had
I think-
Giamatti first.
They both picked Cillian Murphy, I think.
Okay, yeah, right. You're right. I forget. They had Paul Giamatti first, Cillian Murphy not that far behind, then Jeffrey Wright, then Bradley Cooper, then Coleman Domingo, who again I think is a good performer. I just don't know that many people who've seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
Guys, I feel bad about the amount of Oppenheimer hate I dish out. And I don't want to get you guys too excited, but I'm going to dish out the same amount of hate on Dune 2 next year. And I really don't mean to. I really wish I liked those movies more.
ooh.
I keep saying I feel like I'm the food critic in Ratatouille.
Are you just like movies are too loud and bright nowadays?
I'm aware I produce nothing of value, but I'm gonna talk shit on this movie. Christopher Nolan doesn't know shit.
Well, I liked Dune 2 a lot, but we'll talk about that next year, I'm sure. Okay, so it seems like it's Giamatti or Murphy.
Yeah, it's probably Giamatti if you factor in the fan votes. Although Greg put it second as well. You had it third.
I had Cillian Murphy third.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I would say Greg had Cillian Murphy. I don't know. I guess it's a toss up. But how far behind was it on the fan votes?
I think Giamatti has more first place votes.
Yeah. Okay.
I would let you give it to Cillian Murphy, but I want you to pronounce his name wrong.
Yeah, give it to Giamatti.
All right.
He deserves it.
All right. Paul Giamatti wins.
Who's coming out next? What's
It's got to be Kate Blanchett, who won for Tar last year.
100%.
Yeah. So Kate's coming out. Apologies. To
Oh shit, she trips.
That's the stunt I want nominated, by the way.
It's fine. I was mugged. Best Actress nominees at the 96th Academy Awards included Annette Bening, Lily Gladstone, Emma Stone. I skipped over Sandra Hüller, sorry, and I skipped over Carey Mulligan. Sorry to her also.
I had Carey Mulligan third, then Sandra Hüller, and then Emma Stone.
I did third Lily Gladstone, second Sandra Hüller, and then first Emma Stone.
I did Sandra Hüller, and then Emma Stone, and then Lily Gladstone.
Sandra Hüller, Lily Gladstone, and then Emma Stone.
I had the same as Robbie, Sandra Hüller third, Emma Stone, then Lily Gladstone.
I just like that a lot of her performance was nonverbal. I feel like that's an underappreciated.
She is indicating, communicating so much without saying anything, and it's amazing.
I like that most of Emma Stone's performance
Now keep going.
was nonverbal. That's well.
You couldn't even get it out, huh?
I couldn't do it.
Oh man.
The fan vote.
She fucks a guy with a hook hand.
Off screen.
They had Emma Stone first, and then Sandra Hüller, then Lily Gladstone, then Carey Mulligan, then Annette Bening in Naiad.
Wow. We have some pretty cultured viewers, I guess. Naiad was first?
Fifth.
Oh, I heard that backwards.
Yeah, they had Emma Stone, and then a medium jump down, Sandra Hüller, just a couple points ahead of Lily Gladstone.
I feel like Emma Stone genuinely did not expect to win. Like, she seemed very surprised.
Well, her dress was broken too. So
that's true.
I feel like
I felt the same way. She didn't expect to win, but
Yes, she seemed very shocked, and
I felt like she was just so good in Poor Things.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
another character where I just really believed their like progression as she goes and learns, and you know.
I love how Mark Ruffalo gets pissed that she's learning like how to speak properly.
Yes.
he's less attracted to her the more self-possessed she becomes. Which is kind of the point for all those people that are like, it's weird that all these men want to fuck a baby. It's like, yeah, it is weird that men want to fuck babies. Right, that's the movie.
Yes.
That's what the movie says too.
De Niro's like, I didn't like it.
Robbie and I had Lily Gladstone first, but both had Emma Stone second. I think, did you all have Emma Stone first?
I had Emma Stone first. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
we
they
did.
have Emma Stone first. Too.
Yeah,
So I think it's Emma Stone. She's
Is her dress
shocked.
okay this time?
Her dress broke during the excitement of when Messi came out to accept his award.
I couldn't even see how it was broken. She was like, don't look at it, it's broken. I'm like, it looks,
It looks like
you
the
could
zipper
see.
broke
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
back because
Gotcha.
it wasn't like zipped together anymore. It wasn't like falling apart though. Emma Stone wins. All right, we have two more main categories and two more non-standard categories. Non-standard up first. Best one scene performance or cameo. This taking from anything inside or outside Oscar nominees. Greg and Ray are fighting each other to
I'll
go
start.
first. Yep.
I'm picking Jeff Goldblum as the alien in Asteroid City.
It's really good.
It's a really good. I don't know if it's a cameo. It's a really solid performance.
It's a cameo.
I know.
It's a cameo.
He's credited as like one of the first people in the movie.
Yeah. It's very
They
funny.
like walk by him for like 2 seconds. He's there like getting dressed up as an alien for like a play.
It's fantastic.
It's very good.
What's your pick, Ray?
That was mine.
So the reason I included this, so the reason I even brought up these categories should be able to take from things outside of Oscars is because of Bradley Cooper in Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
I knew that's why immediately as soon as you mentioned it.
That's my favorite Bradley Cooper performance of the year.
What was the scene?
He's the gnome. Is he a gnome that used to date the late Michelle Rodriguez?
Yes.
She's talking a lot in the first, I don't know, that's probably like an hour-ish into the movie. And she's talked a lot about them up to that point about an ex that she hasn't gotten over. And they end up in that guy's town and they're like, we got to go talk to him or whatever.
Gotcha.
And it turns out to be Bradley Cooper, very tiny.
Very tiny Bradley Cooper.
As long as I'm talking. Scorsese at the end of Killers of the Flower Moon. And hat tip to Jack White also in that scene. Margot Robbie is my pick in Asteroid City. I would have mentioned in favorite scene of the year because that actually is my favorite scene of the year. But since that's just one scene and it's just Margot Robbie, I saved it for this category.
I thought you were going to say in Barbie, and I was like, wow, I thought I was going a little low. Given
I don't
Best
think blends
Supporting
together to
Actress.
me. I'm pretty sure that's one scene.
Now you're going down to cameo. That movie really is Ken's.
Yeah,
That scene was a really good scene.
that scene's amazing. Gary Oldman is Truman in Oppenheimer, waving the handkerchief in Cillian Murphy's face. And don't know if any of you saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, but Antonio Banderas is in like a scene and a half and then is murdered by Nazis.
Fantastic.
But Antonio Banderas is in there, and you're like, I forgot about this guy. He's great. He should be in more movies.
And then he got killed. No, that's it.
But my pick would be Margot Robbie, obviously. I don't know anything else.
I don't have anything for this one, but I will.
okay.
I will steal your Truman because that was. I hated him in that.
Wasn't there the old lady on the bench in Barbie? Wasn't she something? Because I didn't have anything for this, but I'm just thinking that when you said the Barbie thing.
I don't know. It doesn't have to be a famous person.
Oh,
One
okay.
scene performance. That is a one scene performance, so I would say that counts.
Oh, I didn't like the scene particularly.
Oh,
Never
okay.
mind. Forget it. I'm sorry. I just, for some reason, I thought when I watched that, someone said that she was, I don't know, like had something to do with Barbie or something.
It makes sense if she was.
Yeah.
Oh, she might have been like the original creator or something.
I think that
That lady's
lady
very
was also,
dead.
yeah. Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
She's dead.
Donald Glover. Yeah, Donald Glover
Oh.
in Across the Spider-Verse.
That was fantastic because I got the
As
joke
a
because
Prowler.
of Will.
Yeah. Yep.
It's good. Yeah. So anything that we can have like resolve on, maybe it might be Gary Oldman just because we've seen Oppenheimer as a unit. Unless you guys also really like the Margot Robbie scene.
The Margot Robbie scene is so good.
And obviously, we both picked Jeff Goldblum.
That's true.
Jeff Goldblum's scene is literally like 2 seconds long.
The camera doesn't even stop on him. He's in the background as the camera's going by.
Yes.
I don't
You
feel
could miss
strongly
him.
about it, so I'll go with you guys' judgment.
The same. I trust you guys on that one.
All right. Margot Robbie may not have gotten nominated in Best Actress, but she has won a lady,
Yep. For her role in Asteroid City, the next best thing.
which also got no Oscar nominations. But it's in here because it's in a non-standard category.
She's going to be really surprised when this shows up at her house.
She's going to be shocked.
Oh, we should mail celebrities things in strange packages.
We really should. If you want to start thinking that we have Best Director, Best Ending, and Best Picture left. Last year for Best Director, I imagine it was between Daniels and Spielberg.
I probably pushed Spielberg because I love the Fabelmans.
That makes sense.
I would have too. I feel like we probably gave it to Spielberg.
Yeah.
Okay. I like
Did
it.
Spielberg come to the ladies? Probably.
Yeah, he's down.
Why wouldn't he?
He's down. Spielberg rolling out to the stage with a Best Director lady in hand. The Oscars nominated Jonathan Glazer, Yorgos Lanthimos, Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, and Justine Triet.
I'm ready.
Go for it.
Okay, I got Best Director. 3, I went with whoever directed Past Lives.
Celine Song.
2, Yorgos Lanthimos, right? Poor Things. And number 1, I went Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, which I did not particularly love that movie, but that was a lot to that movie, and the fact that he was able to bring all that together, I do think that was probably the best directed movie of the year.
I went Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Jonathan Glazer, Zone of Interest, and Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things.
Oh, I pick Ray. Ray's picks.
I did Glazer, then Nolan, and then Yorgos person.
For the voting, I did Killers of the Flower Moon, then Glazer, then Poor Things. But before Ray started talking, I was like, actually, Margot Robbie did really good. So I'm changing it to that.
Greta Gerwig.
No.
Margot Robbie produced it.
Yes, true enough. I'm torn. I have a few that are just missing the cut, I think. Just the way it all came together with Zone of Interest, I have to give Glazer credit for that. So I'm going to put him at 3rd because I think that's a really fascinatingly made movie. So Jonathan Glazer 3rd. I'll put Scorsese at 2nd because that is just an incredible piece of work. So the loophole here. Any Oscar nominee for anything is in any category. So my number one pick is Wes Anderson for Best Director.
Hey, yeah. Well, wait. He directed
For The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Wink, wink. He did among his best work this year. He's never been rewarded for his best work, so it'll have to do. That The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. It doesn't have to be a feature film in this category. Never said it does. So Wes Anderson is my pick for Best Director.
I'll support that.
If it was the correct movie, I would feel better about it. What did our voters pick? Did they also pick Wes Anderson?
They were not able to, but they would have. They have Glazer in first, then Yorgos Lanthimos, Christopher Nolan, then Scorsese, and then Justine Triet.
Well, I think it's Yorgos or maybe Glazer. Right? Did a lot of you pick Yorgos?
I mean, Nolan was up there.
Did you give yours?
That was just
I
me.
did. Oh. Yeah. I did. Glazer was last for mine, then Nolan, and then Yorgos. But
so-
I actually like the Wes Anderson thing now, so I'd like to put that first.
I see first place votes. I'm hearing a lot of passion in the room.
I mean, I love Wes Anderson. And that did you see Asteroid City?
Wait, I know I'm talking about
The
Henry
Wonderful
Sugar.
Story of Henry Sugar.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes. This is an unrelated conversation.
I still liked it.
It's great. It plays to his strengths. The dialogue is so fast. It just moves. That thing's wonderful.
Yeah. Still
Story of
impressive.
Henry
It was
Sugar.
still
Oh,
very
was it really
impressive.
good actually?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Oh.
Story of Henry Sugar.
Yeah. Unrelated. Did you see Asteroid City, Jordan?
I did not see it. No,
You should watch that.
It's really good.
it sounds really good. I
It's
honestly
so
thought that it was
well-directed.
nominated, but I guess it wasn't nominated. It was just in the sidebar of the
Snubs.
chat. Okay,
It's snubbed in every category,
Wow.
but not Wes Anderson personally, because he was nominated for short.
He didn't
for
show
live
up.
action short.
Yeah, I assumed he was like, I'm not taking this stupid thing. You don't give me anything for all my other shit.
Did he win?
For live action short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was
It's
that his
really good.
Was that his first Oscar win?
Yes.
Oh, that's a little sad.
Yes.
Something.
And then Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about him.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, he said he couldn't be here because he's busy making a diorama out of corduroy.
That is fantastic. I guess I missed that joke, but it is awesome.
That one I caught.
It's so true.
Anyway.
So who's winning, Ben?
I don't know. Depends if you guys are cool with Wes Anderson winning or not.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
I like the wild card votes, and I love Wes Anderson. So
Oh, I didn't think I'd get this over the line. I'm so happy.
No. I'm just
Did he
kidding.
show up though?
Oh, he's going to show up for this. It's a main category.
You're right. Yeah, he's definitely here.
And he's going to be dramatically revealed when no one even realized he was nominated.
And he's holding a diorama.
We
Made of
get
corduroy.
Pacino to say it.
he built a diorama of him accepting the award.
It's just kismet. We're almost at the end, but not quite. But we are going to talk about endings because the next category is Best Ending, which might have gone to Fabelmans last year. I know it was nominated. It was good.
Yes. I'm almost that was the best ending of the year.
I'm pretty confident it's going to Poor Things, except for Netflix spoiled it. not Poor Things.
Past lives.
Thank you.
That's definitely a nominee that
That's
I think
my pick,
we'll all
yeah.
feel strongly about.
I wrote down two. American Fiction. I love the ending of American Fiction. It was so funny.
Okay.
And I just love the kind of the openness of it. But my winner is Past Lives, obviously.
Yeah, just to throw a couple things in the mix because I think Past Lives is maybe going to carry the day. Oppenheimer ending. You mentioned American Fiction, the Zone of Interest ending with the. If people haven't checked it out yet, I won't say, but that has a fairly jarring thing that maybe it has been divisive. Some people say it takes them out of the movie. Some people say, well, that's cool. And then the Killers of the Flower Moon ending, I absolutely loved. Thought it was magisterial. And I also really like the Past Lives ending. It's good. And then another shout out for Perfect Days. It's has a really striking ending as well.
I think if I had to do a top three, I would do the Zone of Interest ending, American Fiction's ending, and then Past Lives ending.
Yeah, it seems like Past Lives we're all pretty comfortable with winning this, right?
Yeah, I love Past Lives ending. Yeah.
If people haven't seen it, it's just
It's just someone,
perfect.
yeah, it's just someone walking 45 minutes to their Uber.
that
Very relatable, though.
You don't have to walk several blocks.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one. I was like, why the hell are they walking so far? That's like, yeah.
They needed to get away from her house so they could talk. Because that dude was just sitting on the stoop.
I told Ray I was worried he was just going to walk back to Korea. Oh, God. I can't handle a silent walk back to Korea.
My flight's actually not for another 3 days, so I'm just going to wander around the streets.
Yeah, and it's like, as much as we want to talk about it, we got to do that on the Past Lives episode. And if people haven't seen that yet, you should just watch it. And don't look at that Netflix UK Instagram reel where they just have the most kind of crushing part of the ending. And then they're like, you should watch this movie now that you've seen the most important 20 seconds out of context.
People are going to be so mad if they watch it from that. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, you have to get 98.5% of the way into the movie to see that moment. Yeah, I like that for best ending. Fablemans as a concept comes out to the stage next. Our best picture winner from last year. Maybe it's Steven Spielberg and Gabriel LaBelle.
And Seth Rogen and Steven Spielberg's mom.
I think it's just Seth Rogen and Steven Spielberg's mom.
Yeah,
I kind of like this. If it's Fablemans as a concept, it's Seth Rogen and Steven Spielberg's mom.
But like his real mom.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, she can't still be alive.
He
No,
waited till
she
she died to make the movie, I think,
yeah.
right?
Oh, that was a good call.
Probably. But his sisters are still alive, and they did a lot of the press tour for it together. So maybe it's Spielberg and his sisters come to the stage.
And Seth Rogen.
Best Picture nominees at the Academy Awards were American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. I think that was all of them. I was skipping around to try and keep it alphabetical.
My top three.
Yeah.
3, American Fiction. 2, The Zone of Interest. And my number 1 this year was Past Lives.
I got 3 American Fiction, 2 The Holdovers, and and then 1 Poor Things.
I had 3 Zone of Interest, 2 Past Lives, and 1 as Poor Things.
I have the same thing Jordan had. Mm-hmm.
Oh no. You didn't take long enough.
Poor Things was one for me that I was like, oh, I feel like that and the 3 I mentioned, they're all very close. Like I could mix my list around day to day kind of thing.
Yeah. I feel like I should have Past Lives in there, but I don't know, like
It's hard to bump something.
I loved it, but the thing is, nothing happened in that movie.
No.
It was a movie about
movie was just
absolutely nothing.
Tension.
And like, it's good. Things happened in these other movies.
Yes. Poor Things, like I said,
I need a white man to change the world, or you don't get on my list.
Oppenheimer's not on the list. No white men changed the world in any of these movies.
Poor Things, like I said, was one for me where I thought it was going to be like in the middle. And then every day that goes by, I'm like, oh, that movie's so good.
Yeah.
So my 3, Oppenheimer, 2, Killers of the Flower Moon, and 1, Past Lives.
You projected on me with you.
No, I'm just holding a mirror up. Should say none of those are my number 1 movie of the year, but that was not nominated in any category.
Asteroid City?
Yeah, and since this is
Yeah.
a main category, we have to keep it to
You
actual
could pick
nominees.
that live action. Sure.
I should say I would have had.
Wes is going to win big tonight.
I think for this, I do want to keep it to feature films, but I was thinking about it.
I saw a really funny YouTube video.
I think, I would have had Perfect Days literally right in the middle. I have it behind 5 Best Picture nominees, which means I have it in front of 5 other Best Picture nominees.
This is the
there you
opposite
go.
of when O.J. Simpson got arrested and sent to jail for stealing something. Right?
You're going to have to elaborate.
I don't think it could be any clearer.
This is the opposite of that civil case against OJ.
Because he didn't get sent to jail.
That was a separate. The civil case where he was found liable for the death. This is when he stole all that merchandise.
Yeah.
Which he did go to jail for.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
How is it the opposite?
Because he didn't go to jail for murdering those people, and then they sent him to jail for a really long time for stealing things.
Oh,
This is the opposite of that. Is we got Wes Anderson winning that award for that short.
Because he
The
killed all
opposite
those
jail.
people.
Because
Okay.
he didn't get it for
I got
Asteroid
you.
City.
I got you.
Come on, Ben. Get out.
And he murdered the Academy's wife or something.
The analogy could not have been any clearer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think about O.J.
You didn't-
Simpson a lot?
So with this episode is gonna have 45 less minutes of slide whistle, but 45 more minutes of an explanation of the O.J. Simpson case.
I just like the idea of like judging things on a scale of this either is the same or the opposite
I think
of when OJ Simpson went to jail.
there's
For
there's not many
stuff.
opportunities that I have to say that something is the opposite of that, and this is that.
So specific.
It's just like every time she drives by a Bronco.
You gotta shoot your shot.
Yeah, these opportunities present themselves so seldomly. You have to take advantage. If you're not car being that DM, why are you even alive?
No,
So-
is that true, Greg? How often does she talk about O.J.
It
Simpson?
comes up like daily, sometimes multiple times. Oh, this is getting derailed. Here come the Nazis.
Hey, anyone
No,
wanna
I don't
guess,
think they won. What did the fans pick?
in
Did
my
they say anything about O.J.?
What did the fans say?
Past lives came in first, but there. Okay, there's some nuance here, which is I think interesting. Past lives came in first, slightly behind it. Poor Things, then Zone of Interest, then Oppenheimer and Holdovers are tied. Then Killers of the Flower Moon is 1 point behind those two. Barbie is a few down. American Fiction's a few down. Anatomy of a Fall a little bit behind that. And then because we have you can vote for your worst option, Maestro has negative points. I should say that I've had some write-in votes texted directly to me that people liked Maestro and actually would have had it as their favorite movie of the year. So just saying.
Now, would we be able to meet these people?
Yes, maybe.
I was gonna say, did all three of you guys say Poor Things? I think it might be Poor Things.
I said poor things.
I said poor thing.
I had Past Lives first. I didn't have Poor Things on my top three.
I really did like Past Lives, so if that's the way you go, I support it.
This year, I liked all 10 of the nominees. So
I
I'm
liked
not- I'm
nine
not-
of them.
Me too.
I like Poor Things a lot also, so I'm not.
I really like Poor Things. Yeah, I'm happy with either of those.
What I want from a movie is to feel something, and I feel like Past Lives gave me that in a very, it's like a pang. It's as sharp.
Yeah, it made me feel like a bad husband because I wouldn't have let Ray go talk to that guy.
And so that's why I'd go there. But Poor Things is so inventive, and I like Yorgos Lanthimos a lot. I was surprised by how many reviews I've seen that are just sort of taking it as agreed that like, oh, well, this is obviously Yorgos Lanthimos' best movie because this is not my favorite Yorgos Lanthimos movie. But I don't know. I thought The Favorite was better.
I think
I didn't like The Favorite that much.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen that, but I think what I really liked about this movie is like it took a lot of like common themes, but it was probably one of the most unique movies I've ever seen.
I think that's fair.
And I just and it was very entertaining the whole time. And I mean, I think I said it in the group chat, but I really loved going from like, why is this Oscar movie to why is this a movie to holy shit, that was an amazing movie.
I think it's really cool. I'm happy in either direction.
Poor Things.
Okay.
Bring Emma Stone out for another Oscar. Another
She
lady.
she produced it, so she gets to accept it.
Uh-huh.
Did she really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I'm more of an auteur theory guy, so I guess I'd probably give it to Yorgos as the filmmaker. But she did produce it, which is an interesting wrinkle.
Mm-hmm.
I think in Gen Z is not responding well to it, but they don't like sex scenes in movies, so this is designed to not appeal to them.
This is going to be the oldest thing I've ever said, but Gen Z fucking sucks.
Fucking virgins.
Like every time
Was
I
there
hear
a sex
something
scene in it?
about Gen Z, I'm like, I don't like these people.
We watched the televised version of it. It was very short.
Yeah,
Yeah, we watched
I
it on
don't
TV. It was
understand how
30 minutes.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't know how it qualified for Best Picture. It's like 10 minutes of Willem Dafoe burping.
Yeah, I
then
thought it was like
credits.
live action short was what it was nominated for. And then that guy's a goat in the end. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I just love movies, so I'm happy to reward Poor Things. It fits. It won more awards than I thought it would at
They
the
loved
actual
it at
Oscars.
the actual Oscars. Yeah, they really liked
Above
it.
and below the line wins. So hey,
I think the thing with the sex scenes too is they were necessary to the movie. I feel like there was a message being said by showing that much nudity. Like they
yeah,
were
these
really
French
making
guys
a
are
point.
weird.
I like that guy who's like a crab.
Yeah, yeah.
That was fantastic.
French dudes fuck all kinds of strange ways. That's what the message was.
I don't think that's what the message was.
Anyway,
Does Gen Z really not like sex scenes? Is that true?
it seems to be their fault that discourse keeps coming up on like certain pockets of the internet of people being like, "There's too much sex in movies. It doesn't move the plot forward. It's unnecessary. It makes everyone uncomfortable."
Oh, okay. Well,
It's like, no, well, art's about the human experience, and that's part of it.
oh, maybe not part of theirs though.
Fucking virgins.
Virgins.
They spent like 3 years locked in the house because of COVID. They weren't getting any.
Oh, yeah.
No, they're all socially stunted, and
No, their parents should have brought them to a brothel when they were young to kind of teach
yeah,
them.
take notes.
Yeah.
They could do that with this movie. Just get a little notebook.
Oh man.
They're gonna all have weird joking fetishes.
Yeah, a little bit of choking sometimes though.
The finger in the butt.
On that note,
Another successful year.
Only leave Robbie's line in. Cut out everything else.
literally that'll be the start of the podcast.
Finger in the butt.
Yep, there you go. Anything we left out? Anything we shouldn't have? Anything that we should have tried to highlight more that we didn't get to? I think it's clear we all liked Past Lives and Poor Things a lot. And what was the other big thing? Zone of Interest
I love
was a
Zone
big
of
winner
Interest.
on the night too.
Mhm. All these movies were very good this year.
The dramatic surprise Wes Anderson win, I
Mhm.
was pretty happy about.
He deserves it.
He deserves it.
Zone of Interest was really interesting because the movie took place in the background, and I don't think I've ever seen another movie do that, where like what's happening in front of you really isn't as important as what's happening behind the scenes, or not behind the scenes, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't. It's a pretty incredible thing.
It
And
won
I
for
just-
best sound, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have that category.
Oh, and I mean in the
Yeah.
In the less
in the lesser-
important award show.
Oh yeah, but who cares?
Yeah.
Yes, I think with that and Poor Things winning so much, and the Boy and the Heron winning over Spider-Verse. Just goes to show a lot more international people vote in the Academy Awards nowadays, and keep that in mind for next year.
We got to get us our international podcaster. Does Texas count?
Yes.
I think so,
Well,
yeah.
once
Pretty
they
much, yeah.
secede or
Yeah,
whatever.
soon it will. Very soon. I wanted to add, no one else, I should have brought up Greta Lee in Best Actress. Thought she was really good in Past Lives,
I know.
but I didn't.
Me neither.
Because I thought, because of the real world events, needed to represent Lily Gladstone on there too.
They didn't nominate any of the actors for Poor Things, huh?
No.
You know what I meant, Past Lives. Yeah.
Yeah. We all answered like you
Said the
I
right
think,
thing.
I think we all heard.
I think it's just because they both have P's to begin with. I'm
same
just,
amount of syllables. It's 2 words. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get it.
Yeah. Congratulations to all of tonight's winners. By which I mean you, the listener, for getting this absolute gift of an awards episode. Oh, man. You're the true ladies champion. Join us next week
And the award for best listener goes to you.
This actually works out pretty well because the next episode, depending on the timing, either will have been the last episode, but I think the next episode will be the Poor Things episode, which I haven't recorded yet.
Don't miss it. It just won Best Picture.
It just won Best Picture. Yeah, you can find yourself a Linktree, linktr.ee/late to the movies. If you go to the merch thing there, you can still buy a t-shirt for the Ladies 2022 season, which was the 2023 episode. That had depictions of stick figures representing Tar, Banshees of Inisherin, and Everything Everywhere All at Once, fighting over a bagel that says Late to the Movies on it. And since that's on TeePublic, you don't just have to settle for a t-shirt. You can buy a flag.
Need that sucker right over my house.
Yeah, you can fly that shit at full mast at all times.
I think that all the time. Like, this would be an okay t-shirt, but it would make a great flag.
I've never thought that about anything.
Thanks for listening, and thank you, Ray, Greg, Jordan, and Robbie for being on this episode.
Woo!
Yay.
Woo! It is still really fun to do these in person, even though it's more work because it sucks to come here now. Compared to just being in my house, which I was already in.
I was gonna say, I didn't know you hated our house that much.
No, it's easier than going if I had to go to like Corey's or Robbie's.
Yeah. The bridge isn't that bad at this time, though. Like, you can really get right over it.
The ladies.
So plug in those headphones. It's late to the movies.